Well, let's take a look now at some business news. And after a slide in US stocks overnight, it was a brighter start to the day on the Asian markets. Little regional news apart from that virus that has rattled investors. South Korea did report better than expected economic growth. Well, here you can see the latest figures. It's green across the board. The Kospi in Seoul up over 1 percentage point. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong also up over 1%. The Nikkei in Tokyo and the Shanghai Composite also, however, well into the green. Well, the virus that broke out in China has now, as we were saying, spread far beyond those borders. It could have a major economic impact. Tourism, restaurants likely to be the first to feel the pinch. Market analyst at FXTM, Han Tan, says that so far, though, the response has been muted.
There was this immediate reaction to the news when it broke earlier this week. But as you mentioned earlier, beyond perhaps some specific stocks or that are linked to sectors such as travel and tourism, the broader reaction appears rather contained. I mean, sure, investors made some knee-jerk comparisons to the 2003 virus outbreak, SARS outbreak, but these are still early days. Now, the sell-off could get worse if the current outbreak starts affecting global economic stability, beyond just sentiment, and if the authorities show that they are unable to contain it for an extended period of time. But until then, it's still very much a wait-and-see situation.
Climate change is one of the hot topics at this year's World Economic Forum, where political and business leaders are facing calls to commit to new sustainable models. But are they moving fast enough? Well, our business editor Stephen Carroll put that question to John Denton, Secretary General of the International Chamber of Commerce in Davos.
Business has been contemplating how to actually engage in the transition for some time, but it's all been too leisurely. I think what's happening now is that rather than, like we would say, jaw, it's actually time to do stuff. And what we're saying is, for first thing, is when you even talk about how you get positive market incentives to help companies change, you need to actually address that issue. You need to look at the Financial Stability Board and say, well, why aren't you including climate risk as a cause of instability? Why aren't you actually incorporating that into what you see as the necessity for financial stability? That would send a very clear signal to the way in which the capital markets and financial markets operate, which would incentivize people to actually change. So that needs to happen as well. But also there's a lot of, it's so complicated, it's a conundrum, we want to do the right thing for a lot of companies. Saying the solutions are still 20 years away, but they're not. There are a lot of solutions that are available now. We've created a coalition of chambers of commerce to support 1.5 and net zero. We now have something like just on 2,000 plus chambers signed up. That's 10 million businesses. And our job now is to help them transition as well.